Note to self, when you sit down to do a video, it would help if you press the record button. Hello everyone, my name is Angie and welcome back to my channel, Angie Rose Nomad. If you are new here, I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by, have a poke around. Hopefully there's something that you like. I do film new bookish videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I wanted to do a tag video for you guys today. This is the Nosy Librarian tag, and this was originally created by Adrian over at Stripped Cover Lit. I will leave a link to his channel down in the description below. I saw this on Steeped in Books' channel, and I will leave a link to her as well. So let's get into it. There are 10 questions in this tag. I'm only going to be doing the first 9, but I will leave all of them down below. I do have an episode of The Masked Singer to catch up on, so we're going to try and not to ramble. And if you've been on my channel for a while, I know you're laughing because, yep. Anyway, let's go. Question number 1 is, what has been the most influential library in your life? That would probably have to be the Collierville Elementary School library. I was always in there checking out books. I loved going into that library. Middle school was the same, but I was really in the elementary school library a lot. Probably even more than my public library, which has grown on me recently, but the elementary school is where it all started. Number 2, honest assessment. What will they title your biography? So if you're asking my family and friends this question, they would just title it Jabberjaws. That's it. That has been my nickname for as long as I can remember. Jabberjaws or Tagalong. And not like the Girl Scout cookie, like I had an older sister that I would follow everywhere. Yeah. My favorite Girl Scout cookie is Samoa's, just in case you were wondering. Number 3, the story from your life you hope your librarian never finds out. Ooh, I have to think about this one a second because I don't really want to get into any trouble. I have done some pretty questionable things in my life. We're going to keep it PG. We're going to keep it PG here, and I'm going to say that I hope my librarian never finds out that me and my friend used to drive into random apartment complexes just to use their swimming pool. And we would kind of look on the building just to make sure that, you know, we had a number. So if they stopped by the pool, or if like security stopped by the pool, we could say, oh, we're visiting apartment 5. That was way back in the day when pool regulations weren't as strict. Now I go see my sister and she has to have a pool pass and security is always out there and you can only have so many guests with you. It's crazy. But back in the day, my friend and I were at a ton of the apartment complexes in Memphis just to use their swimming pools. Number 4, what is your favorite word? Spontaneous. Number 5, 3 weird things you're afraid of and a way you'd prefer not to die. Okay, so 3 weird things that I'm afraid of. I am afraid of clowns. I don't think that's weird, but that's going to be one of them because they scare the ever-living daylights out of me. So because I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and, as mentioned earlier, cover true crime cases, I do get a little freaked out about my surroundings sometimes, especially if I'm listening to something with my earphones in out in public, which I know is a terrible, terrible idea. I already know this. I have a tendency to have my guard even more on edge. Or if I'm walking the dog and I'm listening to a podcast, I'm always like looking around the corner and things like that, always looking over my shoulder. And then the third weird thing that I'm afraid of, I'm not really afraid of it, I just don't like it, but that is people singing in a restaurant for a birthday. When I was 16 years old, my aunt and uncle took me and my sister and my grandfather to Joe's Crab Shack. We were on a vacation down by my aunt and uncle in Florida, and they made me be the birthday chicken with menus under my arms and paper cups like a little bill. And I didn't like it at all. So I really, really don't like that. And even if it's to other people, like people singing to other people, I still get weirded out and just like, ooh, this is really uncomfortable. And a way I prefer not to die is, I think it would have to be in a fire. When I was in kindergarten, we had the scary clowns. They weren't scary. They were friendly, but they scared me to death. Come to our school and speak to us about fire prevention. So my dad was working night shift at the time, and I remember my mom would be like, all right, let's go to bed, and I would refuse. I was so afraid of a fire happening in our house. So we would have to call him, and he would say, you know, go to bed, there's not going to be a fire, go to sleep. All right. Number 6 is your favorite book as a grade schooler. I have mentioned this in my video about books that got me into reading, and I will mention it again here, and that is The Weston Game by Ellen Raskin. Number 7, what have your interactions with the police been like? Okay. Well, story time, guys. I know you guys didn't expect a story time when you clicked on this tag video, but here it goes. So my interactions with the police have been a little bit mixed. So a couple of years ago, the town over from where I currently live, I was caught a couple of times by a police officer for speeding. And that town is a notorious speed trap. I should have known better, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. And he actually caught me twice in the span of 2 months, I think. And he said if he caught me again, he would let me off. He didn't. Go figure, right? But he was very friendly and cordial and joking around and just doing his job, which I respected him for. I was speeding, so I paid a ticket. But then we have my current next door neighbor, who is a police officer. So I think she's still a police officer. She might be retired. I know her husband is as well. I don't remember if he's retired or not. And then one of their children is a dispatcher. And here is where we get into the story. So my dog, Tucker, the 130-pound dog, is a big dog. And he is featured in a previous video. He is massive. He's a lab mixed with a chow. So a couple of years ago, when Tucker was probably less than a year old, but he was still big, he and a dog that I had in the past got into the neighbor's yard. So Brody is the other dog in question. Since then, we have had to put Brody to sleep. But how they got into the neighbor's yard was Brody was a diabetic, and he was constantly looking for water. Now, the neighbor to that side of me had a pool. He wouldn't really go over that way that much, but the neighbor to this side has a pond. And he would rip out the fence, the wood fence, and go through the hole that he had made for himself. So one morning, Tucker and Brody get over into the neighbor's yard, and I am outside. I'm still in my pajamas. I don't have a bra on, nothing. I am just in a t-shirt and some sweatpants. That's it, right? And so I'm trying to call for them to come back through. Brody comes back through the fence, but Tucker does not. Tucker is not listening to me. He is less than a year old at this time, and he thinks he knows what's best for him when he doesn't. Not at all. So I come inside to put on a bra, and I was just going to let myself out and go around to their gate to get Tucker out, right? Well, I come inside, get dressed, go back outside, and I'm walking toward their house when I hear the most blood-curdling scream you can imagine. So I run around to the fence, and the neighbor is there holding her chihuahua in her hands. And what happened was Tucker had grabbed her chihuahua and thought he was playing and threw him up into the air. And he wasn't aggressive. There was no blood. He just thought he was playing. And the neighbor even said he just thought he was playing. But she was obviously devastated. I would have been devastated if I were in her situation, and I felt so bad for that. I felt horrible. Okay? Well, she had other dogs, and Tucker and her other dogs used to play together all the time. And ever since that day, this house has been public enemy number one, especially Tucker. So she doesn't talk to us anymore, needless to say. But her husband and son are still very nice and talkative to us. And it happened so long ago, but anytime that she even sees Tucker, she tenses up. Now, Tucker has run over into her front yard in the past. And when I say run over into her front yard, I mean he was out in our front yard, and the other dog that I have will see something, and he's her protector. So rather than staying like he normally does, if the other dog is not out, if she barks, he barks, and he goes to see what it is. Now, she's afraid of her own shadow, so she'll come right back. But when he's run over into her yard, I have always been right behind him. I have never just let him wander over there. And the fence has since been fixed, so he can't get over in the back anymore. So this woman had guests over one time. I did not even know them, right? They brought a random dog with them. Tucker ran over there, and I was right behind him. I grabbed him, and the guy that was her random guest, it was a guy and a girl, but the guy said, you better get your dog or I'm going to put him down. And he had his hand in a fist. And I said, no, you're not. And I took Tucker and I came back over here. And the cops showed up. Because she's got the whole police force under her thumb. And so the cops came over and they, I guess, spoke to her first. I don't remember what order they did it in. But they came over here and I explained. I was right behind him. Like, he's like, how long was Tucker in her yard? And I said, oh, about 5 seconds. And he just started to laugh. It's how ridiculous it's getting at this point. So yeah, my interactions with police officers in general are great, but with Psycho next door, they're terrible. Number 8 is, what is your all-time favorite book cover? I can't name my favorite book cover. I really like how they do mystery book covers though, and they just have like a photo of a dock or of a village and the title. And then you kind of have to guess what's going to happen in the book. So I think mystery book covers are pretty intriguing. They draw me in more than any other book cover. But I don't think I have a favorite all-time cover. And the last question that I'm going to be doing is number 9, how many places have you lived? So I was born in Omaha, Nebraska. And then I moved to Rossville, Tennessee to live with my grandparents for a couple of months. And then my family found a home in Collierville, Tennessee. And then I moved over to Memphis, Tennessee for a few months. And then I moved back to Collierville. So 5. I am hoping to do a little bit more traveling. And maybe I can add a couple more locations to my list sometime in the near future. So that is the Nosy Librarian tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed story time about me and crazy next door. Bet y'all didn't know you were going to get that with that question, huh? I don't know who all has been tagged to do this, so if you are watching this video and you have not been tagged, please feel free to say that I tagged you and also link your video down in the description below. I would love to go and check it out. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to become part of the tribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.